Boy Bye, Part 2 by Dana Elizabeth. My Aunt Rainbow is absolutely gorgeous. She's 5'6". She has the most beautifulest bronze toned skin I've ever seen, and her smile is just amazing. She actually can smile and make a person feel her happiness. She loves fashion, so she is always draped in the finest fabrics that money can afford. She always smells amazing, and it's never the same smell. She smells like all those fancy perfumes at Macy's. Aunt Rainbow has a light around her. I mean, literally, when she enters a room, she just shines so bright, and her energy is so dope. She's the life of the party, and she knows it too. It's so hilarious. When we're out in public, literally, men always break their necks to get next to her. She's very arrogant, though. She will let a man know if he is worth her time. If he wasn't, she wouldn't let him waste a second. She explained to me that it's not called arrogance. She says it's called confidence. Her motto is, if you don't think you're the best, nobody else will either. She always stresses to me the importance of knowing my worth. Aunt Rainbow owns 2 houses that were purchased by 2 different men. I just sit back and watch the Rainbow Show as she performs and dramatically handles her situations with ultimate goal of getting everything she wants out of her interactions with these men. She is a very savvy businesswoman. She always emphasizes how important it is to be an owner, opposed to someone who just always spends money on other people's things and ideas. She is always pushing me to get my own identity in life and capitalize on my own ideas before someone else does. She says that if you think of something, a million other people probably thought of it too, and the only difference between you and them would determine by who actually takes action, works hard, and brings the thought to fruition. Her nickname for me was Kiki. She once told me, "Listen, Kiki, pimping ain't easy, but somebody has to do it." In my opinion, that was just her way of justifying the fact that she went on at least 3 dates a week with 3 different men. She explained to me that men love to take care of women by paying their bills and buying them all sorts of things. She always stressed the point that if a man wants to buy you something, then you are supposed to let him. Then on the flip side of that, she also taught me that a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So basically, I walked away understanding that it was okay to accept the man's help. But if he doesn't offer and you need or want something, you have to ask. All of her life lessons were all too real as they pertained to her life. I valued all her teachings. I just didn't always agree with her lifestyle. And that was totally okay because we were 2 complete opposite individuals from 2 different eras of life. "Kiki, hurry up, come down here and look at this cute man driving this delivery truck," was the incoming text from Aunt Rainbow. I just rolled over and went back to sleep. Then, of course, she had to text me a video of the man that clearly agreed to let her record him because in the video, he gave me his number. She is too much. I usually don't get embarrassed by much, but she has a way of making me want to crawl under the nearest table. She's always trying to hook me up with someone. Sometimes I just go with the flow. But last month, she tried that mess with one of her boyfriend's nephews, and he was so lame. I only went because she was getting on me about staying in the house too much. According to her, I'm too young to be in the house so much. But she doesn't factor in the fact that I am a full-time college student. She doesn't believe in going to college. She thinks it's a waste of time. She said that I am smart enough to teach myself. She can't comprehend why I'm paying someone to teach me, but I understand, so I just let her talk. She doesn't have any children. My father never asked me for much, but once of his requests before he died was that I graduate from college. I will not stop until I finish. Anyway, I let her convince me to go out with Mr. Johnny's nephew, and it was an interesting date. First of all, I didn't even realize we would be going on a double date, but of course, Aunt Rainbow always has a trick up her sleeve. She's always playing matchmaker. She really thinks she's Cupid, and I think it's funny. I explained to her that meeting up with random strangers was weird to me. It made me feel desperate. I am not desperate at all. I mean, I don't have men lining up around the block, but I am not desperate. Well, not only did she tell me about the date, but she also told them that we would meet them at some restaurant in New York, which was literally over the bridge from our house in New Jersey. Oh, and I forgot to mention, she brought over 3 of her dresses, as if I didn't have presentable clothes for Mr. Johnny's nephew. She was too funny. I didn't wear her clothes because I had plenty of my own. Not only does she wear all top designers, but she usually gets me the outfit in a different color. She can be so annoying and so sweet all at the same time. I truly love her energy. So here I was going on a date with a total stranger, and she had never even seen or shown me a picture of him. She had the nerve to say, well, if he's Johnny's nephew, I'm sure he's handsome because Johnny is so handsome. That idea was absolute bullshit. I know for a fact I've seen brothers who look like night and day. I just let my guard down on this one and decided to go. Besides, it was July and my birthday weekend, so I said to myself, let the celebration begin. I agreed to let the guys send me a car service to my house. When the car arrived at my house, I just thought I would be getting a ride to the location to meet Johnny's nephew. To my surprise, Johnny's nephew met me at my front door with the chauffeur-driven car. Now, I have to admit, he wasn't bad on the eyes at all. I took the ride, but it was a little awkward. I mean, not awkward because he was such a gentleman, but he was a little bit extra. Do not get me wrong. I am used to men doing nice things for me, but he was too damn nice. He gave me flowers when he arrived. He opened my door. He poured the chilled champagne that was in the vehicle and had the nerve to try and hold my hand. He was just very comfortable. And I'm a person who likes and respects mine and others' privacies and space. When we got to the restaurant, I was the least bit shocked when I heard my aunt's big mouth laughing as I approached the table. I just cut my eye at her and pretended to not be annoyed. The restaurant and dinner was nice, and I was really trying to enjoy myself until Mr. Johnny's nephew reached under the table and placed his hand on my thigh. Well, that was my exit. I didn't even say a word. I just moved his hand, grabbed my phone, and requested the next Uber smoking. When the car arrived, I got up from the table, kissed my aunt, and told Mr. Johnny and his extra-ass nephew thank you and good night. I blamed my abrupt exit on the story of me having another engagement in the city to attend, since it was my birthday weekend. His nephew asked if he could go, but I just told him it was a private event. I left, blocked his number, went home, showered, told my Bluetooth to play SZA, and ate some ice cream. I let Aunt Rainbow know that I will never participate in a blind date with Johnny's or anybody else's eager nephew again. From that day, she respected my wishes and put her Cupid arrow down. But of course, she still tried, and that's why a video of the delivery man is playing on my phone. I always know deep down that her intentions are good. She just can be a distraction sometimes. I'm learning that fun is cool. However, I will never get to the fruition she always preaches about if I don't work hard. I'm studying for my degree in early childhood development with special needs children. I'm currently working part-time as a tutor for a family who has a child with autism. Working with the family helps me a lot because I'm actually able to apply everything I'm learning, and I'm also getting so much real life experience. I only work 3 days a week, and when I'm home, I usually have my nose in a book and watching documentaries. I ultimately have been thinking about starting a nonprofit organization where I can give children an outlet to experience some of the arts like music and theater. The local recreational center has been so helpful in giving me an outlet, especially since my father died. The administrator went to school with my father, and she is working now on getting me a small class where I actually work with a small group of children, and we have already put together a play. We actually reenacted The Wiz, which is an all-black reimagined version of this classic, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. A few volunteers from the neighborhood came out and supported us, and it was so amazing. This project and others like it are so helpful to my children I work with because many of them suffer from lack of social skills and an ability to communicate. Being able to gather and produce such shows give me an opportunity to utilize the strategies I'm learning in my books. The Recreation Center has really turned into a second home for me, and I do have another reason I like going so much. Whew. His name is Kyle, and he's the administrator, Mrs. Terry's son. He's about 10 years my senior, but I am like a moth to his flame when he steps in the room. He is so gorgeous. He stands about 6 feet 2 inches. He has a beautiful caramel complexion. His facial structures are so defined, almost as if God took extra time with his chisel creating this work of art. Not to mention, he is single. Also, it's a bit strange because he sometimes smells like my father, but I simply justify this fact by telling myself that my father must have sent him to me because I have never been in the presence of another man that smells exactly like my daddy. It was overwhelming, and I could not get enough of him. He directed all the sports-related activities at the center, and he was a previous pro athlete himself. There were a bunch of rumors swirling around about why he never made it to the NBA. He had a full scholarship to play basketball at Duke University in North Carolina. I tried to avoid gossip, but one day I entertained the conversation because honestly, I wanted to know what all the whispering was about. So it turns out that he was in love with some girl from the neighborhood. Once he had gotten his scholarship, he did go off to college for the first semester. According to Lynn, the town's human newspaper, he had come home from the summer to discover that she had started dating another guy. Well, I guess he was really into her because he managed to win her back. But it turns out that the guy she was seeing was not willing to let her go so easily. According to Lynn, one summer night when they were coming home on a date, the other guy that she had started dating had been waiting outside her house, stalking. Well, when they pulled up and got out of the car, the guy approached Kyle and the girl, and they started arguing. Then he pulled out a gun, which changed the whole climate of the encounter. According to all the stories floating around town and the article in the paper, Kyle and the man tussled with the gun, but unfortunately the gun went off and shot the girl. Now, he always said he wasn't the one who fired the gun, and obviously law enforcement and the state of New Jersey court system believed him because he was found innocent in causing her death. But just his pure involvement in the incident alone caused him to lose his scholarship at the university. I never knew why he didn't just go to another college, but for whatever reason, he came back home and he has been working with his mother at the recreational center ever since. And I'm totally okay with that because although I have a huge crush on him, he actually is a great mentor and a friend to me. He doesn't even know I have a crush on him because I try not to show it and I act totally professional and until he's out of my sight and I go home and tell Aunt Rainbow how gorgeous he is. Honestly, we have never mentioned his past. And I did ask him once, and he let me know that he didn't want to discuss the past. He said he's looking forward to the future, and the past doesn't determine that. And from that day, I never mentioned it again. Besides, what difference did it really make anyway? Not only did he and I work together, but after work, we went to the gym together. And on Tuesdays, we got food catered from a local spot and enjoyed tacos. Well, in my mind, it was a date, but in all actuality, it was a work function. The Recreation Center hosted a Taco Tuesday night for the staff, children, and their families. He and I began to bond a lot, but he was such a mysterious person, and I was so eager to learn more. I just wanted so badly to be a part of his world. Oh, the lessons of curiosity are always very valuable learning experiences. Part 2. Please like and subscribe for more short stories.